Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank you for this great opportunity you gave me to learn and to listen from speakers. And now I go to the formal intervention. Honorable President of the National Population and Family Planning Board of the Republic of Indonesia, honorable speakers, experts, and participants, on behalf of the government of Tunisia, I'm very honored and pleased to attend the international webinar in the commemoration of International Women's Day 2021. I would like to thank Dr. Hasto Warudio, President of BKKBN, for his invitation and who placed his confidence in our capabilities to move forward in the concretization of our South-South cooperation, a guarantee of success for sustainable development. It is with this mind, in that South-South cooperation as a strategy for economic and social progress and favored by our development partners in their policy of official assistance to the countries of the South. I'm convinced that this is beneficial for the people for whom we are responsible for their well-beings. This approach, which Tunisia has adopted for more than 20 years, reflects the importance we attach to sharing and exchanging with the countries of the South our successful experiences and encouraged by the social cultural similarities that characterize our societies and the challenge we face together. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, like all countries in the world, Tunisia today celebrates International Women's Day. But it should be remembered that Tunisian women celebrates her first on two different days, this feast on two different days. March 8th, International Women's Day, and August 13th, Tunisian Women's National Day. This reflects the Tunisian government's desire to put women at the center of its concerns. Since its independence in 1956, Tunisia has made significant progress towards equality between women and men. The promulgation of the Personnel Status Code on 13 August 1956 illustrates the voluntarism of the Tunisian state and its independence in the reform of family structures by law, in particular by prohibiting polygamy. Tunisia has a legal framework to strengthen respect for women's rights and equality between women and men in different aspects of society, in line with the country's international commitments. It has ratified the vast majority of international human rights instruments and those dealing specifically with women's rights. As for the specific Convention on Women's Rights, Tunisia has ratified many of them, including the Convention on the Political Rights of Women ratified in 1968, the Convention on the National of Married Women ratified in 1968 also, the Convention on Consent to Marry, the minimum age of marriage, and the registration of marriage ratified. The creation in Tunisia of a Ministry for Women's Affairs in 1983 is an important step in the prevention and fight against discrimination against women and in the political will to promote women's rights in society. In 1985, the Tunisian state ratified the International Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women by law number 8568. The Constitution of 27 January 2014 builds on Tunisians' effort to promote and protect women's rights and confirms Tunisian pioneering role in relation to the other countries in the region. It synthesizes also and crystallizes the legal acquis while placing them in a dynamic and evolutive. The Combating Violence Against Women, Political Violence Act, Organic Law number 58 of 11 August 2017, on the elimination of violence, conjugal, sexual, political, and other against women was unanimously approved by the Assembly of People's Representatives at its plenary session on 26 of July 2017. This law is a major step forward for the legal protection of women in the fight against violence against them. Since its creation in 1973, the National Board for Family and Population, ONFP, I'm heading, has been the arm of population policy. He supervised and organized family planning clinics, trained health workers working on and health workers working on its field. In the area of family farming and sexual and reproductive health, ONFP intervenes in several areas: prenuptial consultation, pre and postnatal consultation, family planning consultation, prevention and management of sexual transmitted infection and AIDS, management of infertility, screening for cervical and breast cancer, management of menopause, etc. By setting up a psychological assistance center for women who are victims of violence, and by training providers to listen to the FBV in all regions of the country, women were able to benefit from psychological support services, medical and or legal. ONFP has also invested in education services. It works to change attitudes of young people and particularly are particularly targeted. For example, ONFP has established specialized structures for purpose, which is youth-friendly spaces. And we are very proud of this space. With regard to maternal and neonatal health, and to reflect its sustained political will to adapt the recognition of the constitutional right of mother and newborn to health and to the reduction of maternal and neonatal morbidity and mortality. Progress has been made for Tunisian women in exercising their rights. There have been results, particularly with regard to the right to sexual and reproductive health. Efforts have been made to facilitate women's access to the packets. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, women's equality and empowerment is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Tunisia, like other countries in the South, took part in the commitments resulting from the Nairobi Summit of ICPD plus 25, the 23 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. This World Summit was intended to be a turning point for women's rights, and the topics addressed were mainly women's reproductive rights, and not to eliminate all harmful practices and discrimination from gender-based violence. Before concluding my speech, I would like to take this opportunity to reiterate to our Tunisians' resolute commitment to support initiatives to achieve the goal of equality and the promotion of women. And thank you very much for your attention.